Oh, hello. Thank you for calling the Elder Scrolls Legends Helpline. My name is Beaky. How may I assist you today? You're the King Gamer? Wow, this is the first time we ever had royalty call the Helpline. How may I help you, Your Majesty? You need help making a Paarthurnax shout-themed deck? But you're kind of missing a bunch of legendaries and epic cards, but you're not all that new to the game? Well, we could help you. That is a great thing that you want to enhance your gameplay, Your Majesty. Well, we could do a few things for you today. First, we need to know, though, what type of decks would you like to build? Either a Scout or Monk deck? Well, there's so many Scout decks out there. For today, we're going to feature you a Monk Paarthurnax Shout deck that's very budget friendly. As well, for you, we're going to be actually making a legendary version of this deck. Something you could grow towards, something you could build towards. And both these decks will be available in the description I'm going to send to you on Legends-Decks. But first, let's get into the game itself and see what these decks have to offer. Let's go! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Elder Scrolls Legends Helpline. It's been a while since we were able to do one of these videos, so really big shout out to the King Gamer. He's asked for something quite special, a Paarthurnax Shout themed deck that is very budget friendly and usable in ranked play. Can I make a deck for him? Well, let's go take a look, because I think we have something fun for today's video. The video will be broken down into 3 parts, basically. The first part will be taking a look at the cheaper version of the deck, the budget version, and then we're going to be taking a look at the legendary version of the deck, basically the version where we have legendary cards, what's going to be more playable and higher rank. And the third part of this video will be actual gameplay of the deck in action in ranked play. We're going to be looking at the budget-friendly version and the legendary version in rank themselves. But first of all, let's just jump right into the deck itself so you guys can see it. If you guys want a deck build right away, it's already in the description on Legends-Deck. Let's take a quick look at this, right? So the request was a deck that could be playable in rank and be Paarthurnax featured and feature shouts. So I had a little bit of restrictions right there, but I still wanted to make something fun and themed around Monk as one of his requests. Now, as you guys know, for me, when it comes to actual budget decks, these rules are very strict for me. The person's deck cannot feature any legendaries unless they're legendaries you get very early on in the game, or they're legendaries that the person has actually requested to be in the deck. As he's requested Paarthurnax, it's actually in the deck. Besides Paarthurnax, there are no more legendary cards in this budget version of the deck. But in the other version, I will show you there will be legendaries, and also for epics, there is only 1 epic card. I'll usually only give myself 1 or 2 epic cards to put in the decks like this when it comes to budget-friendly decks. I try to heavily base the decks around common cards and rare cards, so these decks are very usable for early level play. So let's get into it right now. So off the bat, guys, let's just take a quick look at the statistic for the deck. It has 35 creatures, 15 actions, 8 prophecies, and it's rocking right now 5 1-cost creatures, 2 13 costs, and so on and so on. The curve is kind of all over the place, but you guys will see why that is early on. So we're running 3 Drain Vitalities, only 2 Word Walls in this deck, which I will go into why a little later. But right now, if you're going to be starting playing a deck like this, you just want to get Word Wall a little bit more powered up early on. It will help you out quite a bit. Then moving on to there, and the fighters will recruit. It's a prophecy early game, good way to defend yourself, because you're going to be trying to control things quite a bit and then just poke your opponent little by little to win. This is not one of those decks that's going to be really all about attacking really heavily too early on. You want to try to control the board as much as possible and then go for the attack slowly over time, breaking runes and win like that. You're not going to be going off like a whole bunch of big damage all at once. It's just not how this deck is really played. Finish off is going to work out well with Drain Vitality and other ways of being able to wound your creatures like Murkwater Witch, and as well with Shearpoint Dragon. Obviously, Shearpoint Dragon works really well with Drain Vitality. If you power it up with Word Walls, even better. And Murkwater Witch combos quite well with Shearpoint Dragon, so you're going to want to have that in there as well. Alright, moving on from there, Thieves Guild Recruit doesn't be able to make too many things in this deck very cheap, so you're only going to be running 2 of them. The cards you're going to be most likely getting cheaper is Paarthurnax or Reaper. Reaper combos really well as well with Shearpoint Dragon, and that's the whole thing here, guys. You're going to use curses to your advantage because all these cards are very much common. You guys see Reapers here is a common, Drain Vitality is a common, Word War is common, Fighter Guild Recruit common, finish off And then we'll have a rare right here with Murkwater Witch. Midnight Stack combos, we only have 2, but they combo quite well with the dragons that are in this deck. Like right here, we have Guardian, we have Shearpoint Dragon, and we have Paarthurnax. The reason why we have it like this, instead of having some people will tell you it'd be smarter to play into a Hive Defender, but in this deck you want to actually gain health using Woodland Lookout, which will be a very key card for you because you have no other ways to gain health in this deck, because I do not run Snaketooth deck list or any other drain creatures in this deck. So Woodland Lookout is a good card. It's a 3/4 3-drop. It's a very powerful card right there. Moving on from there, Call of Valor combos well with Word Wall, and as you wanted shouts, so I'm going to include the shouts because that's what you request. So some of these cards are in here because you requested shouts. I'm going to have the shouts in here to power those up. The Word Wall and stuff like that. Same thing with Greybeard right here. Greybeard is able to pull those shouts, but I'm not overpowering this deck with too many of them. Only 2 is fine right now because this is a very cheap, very common heavy deck. In the next version, I will show you how I incorporate shouts a little bit different, okay? Devour works really great with the dragons in this deck. Being able to use Devour on if your opponent's playing like an aggro deck and be able to get something like Charge on Paarthurnax or Charge on Shearpoint Dragon or any one of the other creatures could really work out with you. And Devour is more important than a lot of people think. Even if you don't have a dragon in your hand, being able just to destroy a creature that's 4 health or less, attack or less, is really powerful. So I definitely do recommend people play with Devour more than they normally do. Guardian we already talked about. It combos well with Lookout, and it's another guard at turn 4. Cliff Racers is one of those cards you're going to use to help trade favorably, and it can help you win the game late game. Moving on from there, Scourge is one of those cards that are going to work out quite well when it comes to stuff like Leaflurker and Shearpoint Dragon. As you see, there's lots of ways to curse your opponents in this type of deck to just basically get them a little bit hurt so you can have an advantage there. Leaflurker is very obvious with stuff like Murkwater Witch, Shearpoint Dragon. Leaflurker is really great in this deck as well when you combo it with Finish Off. So those are the ways you're going to be taking care of creatures in this deck, of comboing it with, once again, Piercing Javelin. And then Reaper, same thing. So this is a very straightforward common deck. As you guys see, most of the creatures in here are basically common. Like the majority of it is. Only epic creature I was able to put in here was Leaflurker because I wanted to leave myself to something that's very cheap, as the King Gamer requested. He wanted something that was not too heavy on legendaries, not too heavy on epics, because he doesn't have that many. So with this explanation out of the way, we're going to go ahead and look at the more evolved version of this deck, and then we're going to show you some gameplay of both versions of the deck. Alright, the concept of this deck is very simple, but I'm going to show you gameplay and why I made it the way I did. For now, let's go take the more advanced version. Alright, here we are looking at the more advanced version of this deck. As you will see, there's a lot more late game cards. We run in 40 creatures this time, only 12 actions, no support, no items. Let's take a look at the deck right now. Alright, off the bat, you will notice we're running 3 word walls. You do not need the premium versions like I do, but we're running 3 word walls. We're running 3 Dream Vitality once again. This time I want 3 word walls because I am not actually running Greybeard Mentor, so we're not going to be able to pull out the shouts more often, but we'll have a higher chance of being able to power them up more often with word wall. We're running the Listener. The Listener is great early 1-drop, being able to play this out and then get those Brotherhood Assassins into your deck to be able to draw them out and keep cards in your hand will be very valuable. I will show you that while we're actually in a match. Now this deck does feature 52 cards. You could freely take it down to 50. I just wanted to show you an example of something that can work with over 52 cards, as I like trying to break people's perception that you need to play exactly 50 cards. You can play 51, you can play 52, you can play over. Play as many cards as a deck needs to work, but we're going to get into everything else real quick as we go on. So this deck features Manticores. Now this is where there's a little situation where if you want, you could take out Manticore or take out one of them and add in a Paarthurnax. The reason I say this is that this deck actually features enough dragons that you actually could get Paarthurnax down in cost enough to play Paarthurnax. So let's take a look at the dragons in this deck real quick. We have Serpent, so we have 2 Serpents. We have in Guardian, we have 3, so that's 5 dragons right there. Then we could go up to Scourge, we have another 2, that's 7. Then we're rocking 3 more Shearpoint Dragon. That makes it 10. Then we're rocking 3 Undying Dragons, which will make it go ahead to be 13. And then Haven and Paarthurnax. So all that, if you did have Alduin in it, you could actually get Alduin down in cost. And in fact, you can even have Alduin drop down in cost. And if you wanted to, you could play Altar Despair in a deck like this, because Altar Despair actually works quite well up to turn 7 if you want to put in cards in turn 7 and 8. But you could actually draw Alduin out through Altar Despair. This is something a lot of people don't know, but I have a deck based around that and Cliffside Lookout and Woodland Lookout to pull out Alduin. It's not this deck specifically, but it's a deck similar to this. Alright guys? So what else has changed in this version of the deck? We're running 3 Thieves Guild Recruit. The reason for this, obviously, now we have the Packmaster in here as a late game 6/6 charge, being able to go right to your opponent's face. If you could add this to the cheaper version, I definitely really would like you to do it with the King Gamer. It will enhance your late game ability just to hit the face. It works great when you're running other cards like Cliff Racer to have that much charge in there as well. The Manticores are just good late game guards. It's not even really about them being, I mean, destroying the creature is awesome as well, but being able to get a 6/6 on the field late game that's a guard as well. Obviously it's not a dragon, which kind of sucks, so it doesn't work with stuff like Woodland Lookout, but still it works out quite well. Haven is, once again, it's your choice. If you want to run this card, you could take this down and you could take him down, drop it down to 51, and then you could take out the Listener. I really don't suggest you to take out the Listener, because if you have it, and you'll see from my video, it definitely can help you out. I think it's actually a very good version, very good card to have late game. I think Undying Dragon is great to have as well, because a card like this can help you come back late game as well. And definitely never get rid of Woodland Lookout. If anything, if you wanted to drop some cards, you might be the Guardian, and then instead keep the Haven or whatever it might be. But this is basically a better version of the deck that I came up with. I've tested both versions out quite a bit. They work quite well. This version works a lot better than the other version in rank, but we will be able to jump into some matches right now and show you what I mean by that. Now, I want to just preface this before we jump into the actual gameplay. So the matches I'm choosing to actually showcase are matches where I don't like just blow over my opponent. I don't win in like 5-6 turns. I wanted matches that got dragged out where I might even lose a match, or like if my opponent got the right prophecy, it helped me out, because I want you guys to see the weaknesses. The King Gamer, I want you to see the weaknesses of a deck like this in my videos and my explanation, so that you can see where you might want to be able to change things and enhance things. Now, I haven't played a whole entire rank with this deck, so I've just made it for you over the last 2 days testing it out. So obviously when you see my video and with your own testing, you could change things as you like, and I would be love to know what you change in the deck as well to make it better. Now, with that little explanation out of the way, let's actually get into some gameplay and see what that has to offer. Alright guys, let's get right into this match with the budget-friendly version of the deck. First of all, I'm sorry about the aspect ratio. We had a little problem recording the match, and unfortunately the aspect ratio was off. The next match I show you with the legendary version of the deck will be perfectly fine. I just still wanted to show you guys a game, because this was a game that personally I felt like showed some of the problems and showed how well the deck could actually play. So I start off with Word Wall to power up Drain Vitality here. Remember, this version of the deck, we're only running 2 Word Walls. I didn't want to have too many of them in a deck like this, because we had no way of really making the Word Wall anything other than the guard or making the best of it. Next, we went into Murkwater Witch to go ahead and drop him down to 3/3, making him a better card to trade with. And now my opponent's going to have to respond, because my opponent can't go directly to face. He plays Ward Crafter, great card to play at this moment right here. Putting the ward on his creature makes it a little bit more dangerous, and it puts me in kind of a tough spot. Now I play Woodland Lookout in the right lane so I could gain some health back when my opponent goes ahead and breaks the rune. My opponent always playing a pretty aggressive assassin deck right here, so I can expect things like Daggerfall Mage, obviously Cliff Racer, and I'm pretty sure my opponent was going to break a rune, and I got lucky with that as well by getting a Midnight Snack. This deck does feature a fair good enough amount of prophecies, not a prophecy deck, but enough prophecies that it definitely can happen when you need it to. And we got a really great prophecy at that moment right there. And then I'm going to be able to go ahead and attack. I'm going to go ahead and trade that thing with Wardcraft to keep creatures off my opponent's field, and then go ahead and use the powered up Drain Vitality on Daggerfall Mage making sure that he can't get any more tomes, or just basically get rid of a creature like that and keep Woodland Lookout behind a guard, because we might need it later on to gain some health back. Now my opponent's not a good situation for trading, but he throws out the Cliff Racer. Had to use the Ring of Magic right there. He really wanted to keep his creature. I was going to taunt, but I was like, you know what, I shouldn't. I'm not guaranteed I'm going to win yet, but I'm going to play a little aggressively. My opponent's playing aggressively. I might as well go ahead and do the same. And this deck is what, this is what I'm talking about. This cheap budget-friendly version of the deck is just knowing when to trade. At that situation, you attacking is what you're going to need to do. You're just going to need to hurt your opponent little by little and try to take the advantage. If your opponent is playing something like Royal Sage, you might just want to have the health advantage in a deck like this. So next up, he plays into Shearpoint Dragon. I think he did pick the right choice by taking care of my Cliff Racer in case I start keep going a little bit aggro right there. I get a Midnight Snack right there. I'm going to go ahead and play Thieves Guild Recruit, get another Woodland Lookout, attack there, break another room. Luckily that he didn't get a Prophecy and end my turn. Now I have more creatures on the field than my opponent. It's looking risky for me, but in a sense, having all these creatures out with all these guards is still in my favor. With a Cliff Racer, I could trade with Shearpoint Dragon if I must. So we're just going to wait and see what my opponent does. He comes out with a Wardcraft, a great card right there. He puts it on the one card I really didn't want him to do. I seriously was going to trade with Cliff Racer on Shearpoint Dragon, but because of the ward, that makes it a little bit more hesitant. I said, you know what, I'm going to go a little bit aggro on my turn instead of playing defensively, because now I do not want to lose either one of my Woodland Lookouts in that kind of situation. So I'm just going to go straight to face, see if he gets a Prophecy. He gets no Prophecy right there. Play Cliff Racer in the left lane. I'm leaving myself very open up right now. I'm going to keep going face. No Prophecy again, so I'll get lucky there and put in the guard on the right lane. So obviously, if my opponent was playing powered up Drain Vitality at this point, I would be in a lot of trouble. A lot of my creatures right now only have 1 to 2 health right now. You know, look at my left lane. My left lane could be taken out with a powered up Drain Vitality, but I somehow figured that that's not what's not going to happen right now. He's only going to be able to trade one of my Woodland Lookouts, and because he did do the trade, that made me know instantly that I wasn't going to get hit with a Ice Storm or hit with powered up Drain Vitality. He comes out with a Cliff Racer, and I felt pretty good in that situation. The curse finally comes out, and then he comes out with this right here. So my hand's not looking the best. Now I'm just drawing top deck. Top decking is never the best situation, but I see in this sense right now, I just need to go for the win. There's no point in me holding back with the hand I have. I just need to get his health low enough that I can try to hit up for the last little bit of damage. That's why you might want to even run, maybe deciding which cards you may want to take out. Even a Crushing Blow could help out in something like this, just for that extra reach, because that's how you're going to win. You're going to just, there's not really nothing special. That's why I said if you could get Tazkad the Packmaster, it would really help out. Alright, so with the finish off here, I am doing not bad. Just because of the situation that I'm going to be able to use finish off on his creature and gain a creature back, just because that's how it works. I mean, like, they make it too then we have Daring Catapus here. So we're going to go ahead and attack for the 2. See what happens. If he gets a Prophecy, he does.
They make it too easy.
Daring Catapus in the right lane. I go ahead and attack for the 1. Finish off in the left lane. Finish off there. Now here's where the problem with this deck. You're gonna, in a situation like this, when you have to clear and attack, you're gonna maybe run out of cards before your opponent. This deck doesn't have, the cheaper budget decks don't have a lot of card draw unless your opponent is like giving you cards by breaking runes. But I figured with how aggressive my opponent was playing, unless I was kind of stuck right now. If he gets a lightning bolt, I am super screwed. But I was lucky enough. My opponent did not have a lightning bolt, or did not have a way to remove my Leaflurker in guard. You know, in cover. Sorry to say that. I said guard, but you know, in cover in the shadow lane, shadow lane. Yeah, in cover. So I was able to go ahead and win that match. So there you go, guys. That's that one right there. We're gonna pause that real quick, and we're gonna jump into the next match right now. Just give me a moment to set that up. Alright, it has been set up, so let's get into the match. And don't worry, this time the aspect ratio and the deck list is on screen. I'm so sorry about the previous video and how it looked. This match is going to be a little bit longer than the previous one, clocking in around 7, almost 8 minutes compared to the 6 minutes of the last match. But once again, I wanted to pick a match that went a little bit long, went a few rounds, so you guys can see different aspects of the deck. Now, The only thing I want to say, the videos I picked to showcase don't actually feature Paarthurnax in the actual match itself, but the reason I wanted to pick decks like that is because you might have Paarthurnax, but Paarthurnax doesn't need to be your win conditioner, the king gamer. You need to have a good deck overall rather than just one deck based around that specific card. That's why once I said like this version could have Alduin, but you don't need Alduin to win if you're trying to play that type of dragon deck. But anyways, let's get into the actual gameplay itself. We started off with good old the Listener. Put in some Brotherhood Assassins in our deck. You guys can clearly see that in the top right hand corner by looking at the deck tracker. It shows that Brotherhood Assassins have been added to the decks. Instead of going ahead and trading with my opponent's creature, I actually wanted to go a little bit more aggressive and just play in the right lane with my Shout. So by now I get to play the guard right there, so my opponent's going to have to get rid of my guard to go ahead and attack me to face. I already figured my opponent was playing a Prophecy Battle Mage by the cards he started out playing. It's very obvious to see when your opponent's playing Prophecy Brother Mage. Just usually see the crocodile like that. I was actually quite surprised to see this right this moment. I would have figured he was going to save that for something a little bit more dangerous, but you know, getting rid of a guard is quite advantageous to a Prophecy Battle Mage. So right now we could go ahead and decide on what we want to do. We're going to go ahead and Devour right there. We're going to attack. He's going to get a Prophecy. Like I said, Prophecy Battle Mage. I figured as much. Luckily he gets Shrieking Harpy. Shrieking Harpy's not good to trade in with our good old Shout creature right there.
I am ready to join.
Now he gets Circle Initiative. This kind of sucks for me. Then we get Protector Innocent.
The day is mine.
Get another Call of Valor. This is why I wanted to play Call of Valor earlier, because it definitely is a situation where that card can help you out. And then we finally start getting our Brotherhood Assassins.
I lurk in the shadows.
Normally you play the Brotherhood Assassin first, just to see what you get, but in a way I wasn't playing the best possible way, but I wanted the match to last a little long. But you'll see how the game plays out either ways. You'll see how the game plays out. So for playing against a Battle Mage, the matches already lasted quite long. Some Battle Mages already try to win by turn 6. So already we're not doing all that horrible in that sense. We get Woodland Lookout right here with a possibility of gaining health. My opponent uses a Cast Out. He's definitely, like I said, definitely playing a, you know. So we're going to go into Woodland Lookout.
Look to the skies.
I lurk.
Like I said, normally you would play Brother Assassin first to see what you get, but I didn't. We can go ahead and trade here. Trade here.
I lurk in the shadows, waiting.
And their turn. So I'm letting my opponent hit me right here, guys. Now this is something you may not want to do. If he's playing Battle Mage and stuff like the ways to power up his creatures is not going to work out in your favor. Now, like I said, I want to show the deck. So I wanted things to last long. I wanted to be in a comeback situation. And I just kind of felt like my opponent wasn't going to play, you know, just because it's a Prophecy Mage and I've seen these Prophecy Battle Mages before, I felt like he wasn't going to do that. So I said, okay. Anyways, we gain some health. We'll get 3 health back. We'll do that there. Unfortunately, we didn't draw any of our word rolls yet. We'll leave my opponent at 21 health and we'll end our turn. I kept all my creatures alive. Shieldbreaker definitely did stuff right here. So he trades there and then goes to face.
There's nowhere they can hide.
Underworld Vigil. Good trade right there, getting rid of my ability to gain health, which I really did not like at all. So I have to think on how do I want to approach the situation here. So I go with draw card again. Get a Devourer. I didn't feel like it was the right time to use Devourer yet because we could save Devourer for a charge creature. I didn't feel like it was right to, you know, there was so many options. But I figured, you know, we might as well go ahead and trade and then start filling up the lanes to the point that we can make a counterattack for winning. But as we know, my opponent is playing a Prophecy deck, so I was like, okay, he doesn't seem to play an alt, also the card that attacks, attack yourself to give you like, I was just thinking about the cards that my opponent has been playing so far, so I was like, all right, I think I'm okay. He goes to another charge creature right now. Now if I get use Devour, Devourer is going to be able to give my creature charge, which is super effective for me, and playing Mystic Dragon in the right lane doesn't hurt me one bit. So we'll be able to play Devourer here, give charge. Perfectly great right there. Then use Piercing Javelin and just end our turn. So we are in a situation where we don't want to actually go ahead and attack yet because we have those Undying Dragons. We have Woodland Lookout. We have ways to gain health back. He's already played 2 of his charged creatures. I'm sure he has more, but we could just wait it out and just see how this thing works out. And this is where we come in with the Manticore, where the controlling aspect of the deck could really help out. I could play Shearpoint Dragon, but this is where I wanted the match to last long. You should save Shearpoint Dragon until you get something like Woodland Lookout to combo them now that you have enough magical, so you can gain that 3 health back. It could be just enough of what you need to win the match. Now your opponent is basically just top decking because you're not going to give them a card. So he has to use stuff like Phase Weeder. Now if you get, even if he got a lightning bolt right here, it still wouldn't have been enough to kill me instantly. It would hurt. But there are definitely other cards in his deck that could definitely ping at me. There could be ice, what's the ice bolt? I forgot what it's called. The ice deals 2 damage and draws a card. You can use Hero, who sends out basically a dagger and deals 2 damage to you. There's lots of ways to get my health down enough that a lightning bolt could actually kill me. And I was just being smart enough to just wait things out. Like here you go, here you go. Hero comes, deal 2 damage. Now I'm in the ring of getting hit with a lightning bolt, right? But now we have Undying Dragon. I'm definitely not going to attack. I don't feel like it's smart for me to put it in the left lane. Put this here. Now he obviously could, if he gets a Shield Breaker against a Lightning Bolt, I lose. But 2 Undying Dragon, 10 health is super going to screw up most battle mages, you know, chances of winning. And my opponent, I guess, even though it's a ranked match, my opponent saw that and went ahead and forfeited the match. Now, you didn't get to see the whole thing because they forfeited, but I just wanted to show you guys a situation with the deck where you could have said there were certain times I could have played better, but I wanted it to play out in this way, in a sense, just to see a lot of different cards. But there you go, guys. That's the better version of the deck in a sense. So I hope you like the showcase right there, the King Gamer. Once again, the deck lists will be in the comments and the description down below and on Legends-Deck for you to go check out. If you guys want any help making Legends decks, well, just go ahead and ask me or anybody else in the comments in the community. We have a lot of great deck builders out there outside of me. A lot of people here have lots of suggestions, and I would love to know how you guys would change or enhance this deck. I always try to just make the deck around with what you guys ask. You wanted a budget-friendly Paarthurnax deck featuring shouts, and I hope I was able to accomplish that for you in the conveniently but not too expensive way possible with the budget friendly version. Like I think it's fairly still cheap. I mean, I use as many common cards as I could to keep it playable, and I was able to actually play it in lower rank instead of playing it in, you know, like I can't play high rank. I can't play rank 9. I can't really play rank 10 because I'm a lower rank than that. I only play in the rank that I currently am in the game. Anyways, Beaky here with the Untitled Game Show. Till next time, peace the heck out. Actually, there's one thing I need to talk about before I leave. Let me get that up on the screen right now. So yeah, this is a little bit surprise. I haven't been able to make a video about this yet. I usually would update you guys in my news videos, but obviously this was leaked out early, so the information was out there, and I just didn't want to make a video filling up your guys' timelines talking about a card that most people already knew about because of the leak on Facebook. But this is our monthly reward card, Emperor's Blade, and I just want to give my quick opinions on it, nothing too long. I just absolutely am in love with this card at this very moment because of the fact that it's going to be my replacement for like a Hive Defender in Spell Sword decks, and just playing this after you play like a Young Mammoth, it's a good enough attack, but not even the attack, it's the health. The 5 health and the guard is what just makes this so perfect for me. It's because yes, it's a good card because you slay gain 3 health, but the fact of the matter that you could go ahead and play this in place of Hive Defender, be a guard, you're missing only 1 point of health, and you could just go face, like, it's just so good. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to put in token decks, but I have a lot of ideas, and I'm going to have a deck list around this very soon on the channel. A lot of things I'm thinking about. It's going to be fun to play with this card for sure. So I just want to give you guys my quick opinion of it. So far, I think it's a great card. I definitely feel like it's going to be seen play in the game once it's officially released next month. If you guys actually want to play with it early, go play some Versus Arena. It's already going to be populated in Versus Arena early. So that's cool. Alright guys, that's enough for today's video. It's been long enough already. We're out of here. Till next time, peace the heck out. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace